Bust it.
Hello and thanks for staying with us. Welcome to Political Platform on Repa FM and AITA Abuja and AIT International. My name is Ait Political. Good news. This Wednesday, the president is expected to, at around midday, that's a few hours from now, just about 3 hours from now or less, sign the 2018 appropriation bill into law. Recall that we spoke with a member of the House of Representatives last week on this program about a possible shutdown of government in Nigeria. He says the government has up till end of this month to really get the budget going. If not, we'll operate without a budget. Think of what happened in the United States several years back. But good news is going to be averted. That budget will come on stream just as the federal government had been given figures that it released for capital projects for 2017. Over 1.5 trillion, very commendable. But beyond that, the killings going on across the country appear to have received hopes that end may come soon with plans being pushed out by the federal government through the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and the National Economic Council. If you recall, the National Economic Council is a forum where the federal government and states take a look at their common problems with a view to finding common solutions. And follow up to the earlier resolution of the National Economic Council, which they said open grazing is not something that should be taking place in Nigeria, but is encouraging ranching. They have gone ahead to say that they hope to set up pilot ranches across 10 states of the Federation. For the initial period, it will cost 70 billion, but over a 10-year period, it hopes to, the project will likely go up 179 billion. And this is one that will receive applause from several Nigerians. And I wonder where the Minister of Defense, Mansur Dan Ali, will be with his own recommendation and solution. Suspension of anti-open grazing law is a complete departure from what the National Economic Council, the states and the federal government have proposed. It's few days to the APC convention. The candidates are getting ready to slug it out amidst rumors of a possible unity list. But joining us this morning on the program will be one man who says he's the best suited to be in the position of the National Secretary of the APC. Former member of the House of Representatives, Abu Rahman Terab, he will be joining us much later. But my colleagues are here. Deborah Bodere, welcome to Political Platform.
Amechi, yes, the D-Day is here for the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC. As at close of work yesterday, 179 aspirants have purchased the nomination forms. And
that's good business for the party.
Good business for the party. And for the chairmanship position, interestingly, the numbers are increasing. More and more are joining the race. As at the last count, we now have four candidates. Apart from Adam Soshio-Mole, you have Clement Ebri, Professor Osumbo.
Who has withdrawn. The news came out early this morning that he has withdrawn from the race. In respect, according to him, to the dictates or the wishes of the president who has expressed support for Adam Soshio-Mole.
So only 3 members of the outgoing National Working Committee did not purchase the nomination form. And of course, that of John Oyegun is known, Mus Banire, and of course, the National Treasurer, Bala Mohammed Gagarawa, did not purchase the nomination form. For the Deputy National Chairman's North, there are 2 candidates already. Farouk Adamu Aliyu, former member of House of Representatives, is slugging it out with the current occupant of that position, Senator Lawa Shaibu. And for the National Chairmanship South, so far we have Governor Ni Adebayo, former governor of Ekiti State, who wants to step into the shoes of another former governor of Ekiti State.
Who left to contest
election, Segun Oni. For the National Secretary, I think it's attracting the big wigs in the party. As at the last count, at close of work yesterday, we have 5 aspirants. The incumbent Memala Buni is being challenged by Kashim Imam, former presidential aide, also from the same state in Borno. You have Waziri Bulama, an architect, Mohammed Bello, a lawyer, and a former member of House of Representatives, Abraman Terab. 5 of them in the race. Tough race, we say. And then for the National Organizing Secretary, interestingly, there are the figure is so high. Senator Osita Iznazo will have to battle it out with about 3 or 4 other candidates. Emmanuel Ibediro, Chidi Nwogu, a lawmaker, an incumbent lawmaker. He wants to vacate his seat in the House and he's seeking for that post. And you have Dr. Sisi Oswala and Dr. Betty Namdi, a lady, also joining the race. And for the National Publicity Secretary, tough race too. There are now 4. You have, apart from Bolaji Abdullahi from Kwara, you have Duro Meseko, a journalist. Interestingly, Meseko and Bolaji Abdullahi was staff of This Day newspaper not too long ago, and they will be slugging it out this time around, fighting for the same position. And then you have Abubakar Siddiq Usman from Kogi State. Even the national woman leader is also not. It doesn't seem it's going to be easy for the incumbent to get, because she has 2 other people who have already purchased form and they are joining her in the race. Ramatu Tijani Aliyu is the current national women leader. Salamatu Bewa and Fatima Adams are slugging it out with her. And there's one interesting case that is we will need to watch out for, and that has to do with National Vice Chairman Northwest. The current occupant of that position is Inua Abdulkadri. You will recall that about 2 years ago or so, that Governor Nasir El-Rufai pulled down his house in Kaduna, and El-Rufai is campaigning seriously against his return to that position. And of course, his own governor, Aminu Tambua, is fighting hard to ensure that he retains position. So a lot of politics, politicking, scheming are going on for this APC
the
convention.
governors will be meeting today at the residence of the Imo State Governor, Rochas Okorocha, who's also the chairman of the APC Governors Forum. Talking about Rochas, we heard that he's pulling all the strings to ensure that Osta Iznaso, the National Organizing Secretary, is not returned. Of course, he knows that Iznaso is one of those that wrestled the party structure from the control of the governor. Talking about the position of National Organizing Secretary, for a member of the House to give up a seat in the House to occupy that position, it tells you that it must be very juicy. That is the position that has to do with nominations, issuing of tickets to candidates for the party. And for a ruling party, you know how juicy it is. Welcome to the program.
I don't know about that position being that juicy, but of course,
I know that Chidi Mogu is not an incumbent member of the House, a former member of the House of Representatives. So that settles it.
I don't know, but I know that every election year, of course, party officials usually have it rosy, and that's why a lot of them fight to make sure that they get into positions preparatory to an election. And there's nothing bad in that, except that whatever we do, whether at party level, at the national level, the national interest should be put first. Everybody has a right to aspire, but aspire with good conscience and, of course, with the interest of the people of Nigeria at heart, whatever service you're going to render. And that is what I would be saying to Edamogu and the other co-aspirants to that position. And the APC convention, of course, will present a lot of muscle flexing. You talk about 2 governors, Nasir El-Rufai and Aminu Tambua, trying to slug
member of the NPDP.
Exactly. And not even just a member of the NPDP, a former speaker, number 4 citizen of this country. And they're going to slug it out over their candidates. It promises to be interesting. Honestly, I can't wait to see the scenario unfold.
Ijama Samo, you've been keeping tabs too.
Yeah, Amici, I think it's going to be great. It's going to be newsmaking for the APC because this happens to be the first elective national convention of the party since it was formed before the 2015 election.
It's been long overdue.
It's long overdue for them to bring delegates together and take a decision. Who do you vote to become executive members of your party at the national level? I think what people should be looking at is, because you said something about Governor Rochas Okorocha battling with the present organizing secretary of the party. Okorocha should also remember that the structure of the delegates of the party has gone somewhere, and it is the delegate that decides who wins the position. So,
but Okorocha is at the head of the appeal committee. The appeal committee that will decide whether any candidate is qualified. So he has the knife and the...
No, for now, I think 176, according to Abike Dabiri, candidates have been screened in the party, awaiting the convention on Saturday. Aside that, over 100 persons, what Mr. Boduri said, over 100 candidates have already collected their nomination forms. And
but their fate is still dependent on the appeal committee, and the appeal committee says several petitions they have received several petitions, 7 of them against those
Amici, I do not think because they give you power, authority to screen people and you start using it for your own benefit. You are not the only one. Rochas Okorocha is not the only one
in that committee.
Yes,
and what about those who have been sworn in?
Yes, a lot of them have been sworn in already. So what do you do about it? Do you retrieve decision that was made by the party? So these are the things we should look out for. No man who owns that day. The power belongs to the delegates. What you should think is how to
6,000 of
yes, how to fight and make sure that those that are going there are delegates that are loyal to you, because party politics is all about loyalty. If they are not loyal to you, sorry, they will just shift. It happened with PDP, but we are hoping to see that this elective convention will not go the way of other political parties. Let me not use it. And I also like what President Muhammadu Buhari did. I don't know the fate of the NPDP members. I read in one of the publications, online publications of either Punch or one of the dailies, that the president actually said he cannot talk with the NPDP members. It is a party affair. He is the president of Nigeria. They should go meet their governors, they should go meet the party leaders to resolve whatever crisis they are having. So what becomes of the fate of the NPDP?
Signals. So there are some insinuations. Nobody, the presidency, the villa has not been very open with a categorical statement. What we hear or read in the papers are sources saying, from the villa. I expect the presidency to be bold, to put his feet down. Are you going to be meeting with the NPDP, or are you not going to be meeting with them? Conflicting signals. Mustafa Mohammed, welcome to Political Platform.
Thank you very much, Amechi. And you know, the lack of internal democracy was what pulled down the 16 years of the PDP leadership in Nigeria. And of course, they were bold and courageous enough to apologize as a result of lack of internal democracy. So this alleged unity list is a hammer dangling on the neck of the APC. If they fail to implement this internal democracy, I don't have to say what will happen to the political party. Of course, you know, APC is a party of strange bedfellows who came together for the interest of grabbing power, and they succeeded. But if they fail to plug in the internal interests of the various members, then it will spell doom for the party. So it's not late for them to reconsider their position on that unity list.
You want them to do it differently from the PDP?
Yes. No, in fact, I don't even like anything unity list. If these people are really viable, let them go and stand and be elected.
Level playing field is the name of the game.
Test their popularity.
Exactly. Some people are not popular and they want to smuggle them in through the back.
Godfathers. Well, we'll see. Maybe tomorrow of this program, we hope to speak with Bikeda Brerewa, the publicity committee member for the convention of the APC. And maybe from her we may find out if indeed there are moves to write a unity list, or whether indeed the party will be providing a level playing field for all the aspirants and candidates wishing to go into its various executive positions. Thank you so much for staying with us. INEC has registered 9 million Nigerians. Is not the entire registration process. It's the figure that have been registered since the commencement of the continuous voters registration exercise. We have, is it 60 million already in the bag? Plus, that's the one we registered prior to the 2015 election. Most of the registration done just before the 2011 general election. So it's just an upgrade, and we hope they will continue to register Nigerians to ensure that nobody is disenfranchised ahead of that election. But let's welcome our guest for today, a member of the All Progressives Congress APC, former member of the House of Representatives, Abdulrahman Terab, who is hoping to become the National Secretary of the APC. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Is your name on the unity list?
There are many lists moving around. I think my name is in one of the lists.
But not the unity list.
Well, I think the idea of the unity list has been debunked, because at the moment the most important thing is that there is a contest, and the provision for the convention itself is that it's going to be a free contest, and of course it's going to be an elective convention, and nothing has changed. Delegates are on their way, the election is going to hold, and it is expected that whether there's a unity list or not, elections must hold, and of course winners are going to be declared.
So what do you hope to bring into the position of National Secretary of APC?
I think we need to up the game. The party is in a critical moment at this point in time, because to a certain extent, so far the party was able to win the hearts of Nigerians. And I think we now need to go to the next level. And what I believe I will bring, if given the opportunity, to the party is the idea of giving the office of the National Secretary the real impetus that is supposed to move the party, in the sense that we need two major things. We need to harmonize all of the promises that the party continues to make, and to ensure that it is delivered through a proper channel. I think that is what it has lacked so far. Because the idea that we only have a federal government, and then of course probably state governments and local governments are all on their own, I think needs to be brought on the same platform, to ensure that deliverables come at all levels, and of course people need to benefit from those deliverables. The second and most important thing is harmony between the various arms of government, specifically between the legislature and the executive arm of government. I believe that with the experience I have come with, having served both at the executive and the legislature level, there is the need for us to understand that development can never be achieved without a very important harmony between the executive and the legislature. And I believe that to a certain extent, such a gap has been given to kind of expand over the years. And I believe that if given the opportunity, we are going to do that, to bring such harmonization. And then the most important thing again is transparency, accountability, to ensure that party administration is understood by everybody. The need, because the clearinghouse of the office of the National Secretary is a point where, of course, it's supposed to actually have an eye on everything, and at the same time respond to every challenge of the party. And of course, make every organ of the party to be responsible and responsive. And I think that is very, very important. Because the party seem to have allowed only the federal government to now take on the responsibility of both responding to Nigerians and at the same time governing. And I believe that there is the need for the party to step in, because the party is supposed to be the major communication kind of machinery between the government and the people, and ensure that wherever such loopholes have been left behind, it needs to cover that up. And how do you do that? Because you cannot allow the members of your party on one hand, and then some organs of your government on the other hand, having separate views. And I think the party needs to come in at all times. And the party needs to be proactive. That's the most important part of it. Because you need to envisage that certain things could get out of hand. And if it is done properly and well, I believe that that is the critical moment I'm talking about. And that's what I need to, well, that's what I hope to bring to bear.
Yeah, if you look at all the political parties that have been in existence, that are still in existence since the return to democracy in 1999, is that you cannot compare them with those political parties of the First Republic and even perhaps Second Republic in terms of party supremacy. The party executives seems to be, they have been overpowered and cowed by the executive arm of government, maybe because they are the one funding the party. What will you do if you become the National Secretary of APC in terms of enforcing party supremacy?
I think, you know, we have to now understand the concept. I think the concept comes from the idea of a party supremacy. And when you use the word supremacy, the mentality we have in the historical past of strength over others, I think that is what comes to be. And everybody resists when somebody is trying to show strength over him. I think what is most important is for the party to understand its roles. And that's the most critical part that we need to come in with. I think what we need to bring is wisdom on how to manage organs of the party, both the electorate, and then of course the government, and then of course the legislature. But most importantly, ordinary members of the party. Who are those that have participated? What roles have they played? And what kind of experiences, intelligence, and of course responsibilities they will have to bring to bear to the governance of a system. And I think ensuring that a party is a system and running it as a system is the most important thing. It's not about supremacy, but it's about playing the roles that you're supposed to do.
Your party, Mustafa talked about strange bedfellows coming together to form the APC. It has manifested, though some may not agree, in the rift going on within the party. You know, different factions, new PDP threatening to pull out. So there are factionalization within your party. How are you going to deal with that? Beyond that, some have said the APC as a party did not have much input into the Muhammad Buhari presidency. How are you going to ensure that this gap between the party and the government it formed and amongst its members will be closed?
First of all, like I keep saying, we are not coming in because the people who are currently in the mantle of leadership have done nothing. But I believe that we have more to offer at this point in time. They've done their best. But actually what happened to a larger extent is that after winning the election, I think the party actually kind of stepped back to allow governance to take over. And I think that is where the problem started. And that's the reason why I'm using the word proactiveness. If you are proactive, it means you know that based on party and political structures, certain things are definitely bound to happen. And before they happen, you have to now foresee and at the same time now provide solutions to most of these things. And I believe that is the major issue. The most important thing is respecting the role of every individual, not only groups. In any case, there is no party anywhere in the world that we are born together and they are going to die together. There are always issues of interest, of people coming together, associations, people who believe that they have something to offer and they have something to reap out of what they are going to put in politically. And I believe respecting such relationships, respecting such associations, individuals and groups is the most important thing. And when you have that respect, it means you are not going to allow things to fall out.
The position of National Secretary has been zoned to the Northeast. Yeah. How do you rate your chances within the Northeast and the national?
I think the most important thing is that we are coming for a national convention. That has to be critical. And it's key. And when you're coming for a national convention, it means every single vote of the 7,000 delegates that are going to come counts. And I think that's the most important thing. So as much as possible, we are doing our best within our home base, but most importantly, we are reaching out to other zones, to other states, to other delegates who are far from us. And how because you are a national secretary of the whole of the party, it's not of a zone. So every member of the party in every nook and cranny of the country needs to understand to what extent his or her, interest is going to be protected.
Yes, I have this question to ask you, because from what you've been telling the people, you've been talking about the same policy that the biggest opposition party in Biden during their time when they were in power. They're talking about zoning, they're talking about unity list, these are all things carried from. What will the APC do differently from the PDP? Because
I think what is important now is that we are going into a convention, whether there is let me start by saying the idea and concept of a unity list is what you could conceive from the point of view of some few governors or some governors having their own list. Interestingly, you mentioned it here. You have two major governors from the same zone having different individual candidates, and they want to slug it out. So it means that...
So it's more or less governors'
list. Of course. So it's more or less some governors' list. And then, of course, there are going to be some governors' list. and of course everybody is going to plug in.
Well, we hope that it gets down to contest and a level playing field will be provided. Will you withdraw likely? Some people withdraw last minute. Will you consider that?
Well, I'm not looking for that because at the moment I am all out and I'm expected.
So it's not an option
to be at the convention.
Honorable Abdulrahman Terab is the National Secretary candidate for the APC, whose convention is slated for this Saturday. Wish you luck in your endeavor.
Thank you very much, Amicha.
That's it for today. We'll be here again on Thursday for another edition. On behalf of the crew, my name is Amicha.
Busted.